Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, no, you'll stand tall.
Okay, here we go.
Let's
We've
go.
made it,
Yeah.
finally. Bronson, it's great to be here with you.
Thanks.
You're just massive. I don't know. I know I mention every time I see you, but you guys are just like a different level. I've always talked with my dad and be like, oh, I could be an athlete. And then he's like, wait till you see athletes. Like,
There's some big ones out there.
Yeah, you guys are athletes, and you guys like next level, and it's awesome to actually like see you guys in person.
Yeah, I feel the same. That's how I feel when I see basketball players, like NBA guys. It's like everyone's like this to me, and I'm pretty big, right? Like I'm like 6'7", and I'm looking up at everyone like, this is strange.
Yeah. And when I first met you and Corbin, your brother, at that Cars and Coin meet, like I got that picture with you, and I just look so small.
Corbin makes me look small. He's big.
Well, and then his hair and everything.
The hair makes him look like over 7'2", 7'3". Yeah.
So yeah, he looks massive, and he actually, like, I keep seeing all of his Instagram stuff. First of all the time, no shirt. Never.
Never. The shirt's never on.
I was like, dude, I don't know. The only time I've seen him with like a shirt on is in person.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like he's lost a ton of weight and everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good for him. That's great. So, just to introduce you a little bit, right? You played football and basketball for BYU, and then you got drafted into the NFL. You played around there for a couple of years, bouncing around a couple different teams.
Yeah.
And now you are working in business, helping athletes get back into like adjust to normal life and get into business and things like that, right?
Yep, exactly. Okay. You got it down.
Did I miss anything?
No, you're right on the money.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, other than that intro, introduce yourself a little bit, like who you are, and kind of a couple of things that really make you who you are today.
Yeah. So, right. I mean, my dad was a football coach, so growing up, I was around the game the whole time. He coached for almost 30 years, 10 years at Utah, and almost 20 years at BYU. So, grew up around the game. It's been a big part of our lives, and so, which has been really good. Just because, I mean, everything you do in sports, you know, you can take away so much from sports and place it into business, entrepreneurship, all those things that I really enjoy doing. And for me, I just love helping people. So I kind of always knew that I'd want to help athletes specifically with everything off the field, off the court, whatever that is. So kind of some more backstory about me. I grew up here in Provo, went to Timpview High School, served a church mission for 2 years in New Zealand, came home, graduated at BYU in statistics, analytics, and I met my wife there. She was on the soccer team. So yeah,
we love that. Love that.
Yeah. So got married, and let's see, we've been married now for 11 years, and we have 3 kids. Just had our 3rd kid.
Wow.
Yeah, third little baby. She's so cute. It's a little girl named Maya. So yeah, we're here full time now in Provo, and just really enjoying all the things that I do, because they're all kind of connected and aligned. So it's fun to just be able to help athletes, entrepreneurs, companies, people building stuff, and just watch things grow.
Yeah. And from a young age, I assume that you always wanted to play football because of your dad, right? Was that the dream?
No.
No?
I didn't even know I didn't play football till 8th grade. I didn't even play. I watched my dad play. So he played. So I was born in New Jersey because my dad was playing for the Eagles.
Wow.
But I was really little, right? Then we moved back, and I just thought my dad was a football coach. He didn't have any football stuff laying around the house, nothing. I had no idea he played. And then once we came down here, that's when I learned that he played. And which is kind of cool in a sense. Like, I got to find my way into football. I was never forced. I played everything. Like, my first sport was soccer, and then I played baseball, and then basketball, and then I played flag football like in 5th grade, and then so it's kind of funny. I just kind of transitioned into football later on, so which is kind of crazy. A lot of people are like, "Wait, what? How does that work?"
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think football is one of those sports that you can join even at the college level and be really good. Like go to the pros.
yeah,
Like
I agree.
I don't think you can really do that with soccer or baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah, football's
basketball is
like
tough too.
there are just some things that you can just get with football that with that specific position that make you really really good. I know a lot of the BYU guys have done that. The
Yeah,
ones that have gone to the pros, they've joined. They've been walked on at BYU. So
yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, a lot of it's like, a lot of it's timing. But first of all, it's like the body. Like, there's just some things you can't teach,
mhm.
right? Which is like body size, speed, strength, all these different things. Then you add in the work ethic, and then just adding, great timing. Because there's some guys that never get an opportunity till their last year, and then they get that opportunity, make the most of it, and then next minute they're drafted in the NFL. Like, and so it's one of those rare things. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
kind
pretty
of
great.
crazy.
Yeah, and so I asked a couple of the listeners to see if they had any questions that they wanted to ask you. So one
Hmm.
of the ones that I really liked was like, what was the difference that you saw from playing in high school to playing in college to playing in the NFL? Like, what were the main differences that you saw at those levels?
Yeah, that's a good question. High school, I would say, you're at that point in time, like if you're like for me, I felt like I relied a lot on talent, right, and just natural ability, size, strength, all those things, right, because there was that gap there, and it was pretty big. You go to college, and that gap shrinks, and you get a taste of that level of competitiveness of, oh, everyone's big, everyone's fast, everyone's strong, but there is a gap there of discipline. And then you go to the NFL where, you have everyone's big, everyone's strong, everyone's fast, everyone's disciplined. But in what areas now of discipline can you separate yourself? And so, I mean, some of those areas I found were, recovery, sleep, nutrition, watching film, um, focusing on the mental game, being able to handle adversity, being able to push through stuff even when it just is terrible and super hard. And not everyone can do that. And so being able to have the mental side of discipline, focusing on the things that help you play at the highest, like play faster, um, and be able to play at a high level all the time, is really what separates you at that level. So it's more of a mental thing there than anything, because the physical stuff at that point is, you could do that all day, but
Yeah,
the mental side of the wear and the tear and every day going all day, that's where players kind of tend to either fall or rise. That's where the gap is.
yeah. And how did you find the transition to each one?
I would say high school to college was good. I would say I was like, okay, once I understood, the work ethic side of it, and because I was just in high school, I was just kind of there doing whatever, and I
Yeah,
didn't do anything extra, honestly. Like, I just go to practice, and that was it, right? There were no trainers out there
yeah,
doing skills training. And then I go to the NFL or go to college, and then I get great coaching, right? And then I start doing extra. I start doing the extra, and and but I learned there, like, the mental side of the game for me, because that's what started to separate me earlier. Because I got, like, the mental stuff that they use in the NFL, I got it earlier, and so that really helped me. And so I was able to play at a really high level just because I learned the mindset training side of things, and the discipline. I knew exactly what I wanted. My goals were really clear. Um, Probably around my sophomore year in college, junior year, that's where I really saw, like, okay, I can go to the NFL. Um, and and then the NFL was tough, just because I would say, like, I was playing. That's probably the toughest transition, I would say, because everything had to be at a high level. Every rep is that as fast as you can go, and for me, it's like, this is football, is like, that is all you do, is football all day long. And so for me, I never I never defined myself by football. I didn't define my identity, um, as a football player, right? Ever. And so now it was kind of pushing me more towards that, even
yeah,
more. And so that was tougher for me. Um, but and initially in high school, I kind of had that identity as a football player. So now but I got hurt my senior year, and that's what changed it for me, where I learned like, okay, it's not all about football. I'm way more than football, but I'm bigger than it. Like who was Bronson Kafusi outside of sports, and I learned that's what really matters. So I had that experience earlier on. So in the NFL, I knew, even though it was always like, no, you are a football player. This is all you do. It's like, no, I'm not that.
Yeah.
I'm more than that. So that's why I was super busy, with off the field stuff, learning all about the business stuff and networking and entrepreneurship and all those different things.
How do you feel that people mostly characterize you as just a football player still? Because I know that I do that. I was like, oh,
Yeah, that's football
I'm going
player.
on with Bronson Kafusi. He played football at BYU and in the NFL. Listen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, like, how does that make you feel now that like you are still being characterized as the football player now that you are out of football?
I think, well, it plays its role because it was something, I had a really good mentor and friend of mine. His name's Jeff Hoffman. He's amazing serial entrepreneur, tech entrepreneur, and he gives this speech about, it's called I think he called it, your gold medal. And in this speech, he talks about how everyone chases lots of things, but really the most important thing you can chase is that one gold medal. And if you chase that one gold medal, people treat you differently. So if you were talking to someone like an Olympian walked in, you didn't know they're Olympian, and they're just sitting there talking, you're just talking to them. It's hard to know, right? Like, who are they? But when they put a gold medal on and walk in the room, whoa, what are you doing? And in life, it's the same way. That's his message. Is like, we all have a gold medal, and if you don't have one, you're chasing one, and that's your gold medal. So go all in on that gold medal, get it, and then once you have a gold medal, what do you do with it? And so that's kind of where my thoughts have been. Is, as an NFL player, the gold medal is you're an NFL player. Like, you made it. Like, it's really hard to get there. You're there, right? But it's like, even the Olympics, you look at, they don't last forever. And so, but you do carry your gold medal with you. But how you use the gold medal is up to you. And so, for me, I know as an NFL player, I mean, that is what differentiates me. When you walk into a room, it's like, oh, who is it? Oh, he played in the NFL, right? And so as soon as people hear that, they tie certain things. Yeah, they tie certain things to you. Like, oh yeah, he must be a hard worker, or he must be disciplined, or he must know how to handle adversity. He must,
hit the gym.
Yeah, he must hit the gym. He must sleep. He might do all these things, right? Like, he loves that thing, and so that just comes with the territory, honestly, which is awesome. But at the end of the day, the next Olympics is going to come on, and other people are going to get gold medals. Records are going to be broken, and so yes, your gold medal still matters, but it might not be as bright anymore. And so that's what happens with a lot of NFL guys is, yeah, you were an NFL player, which is awesome, and there's that excitement, but it's like, okay, well, now what? And so that's where I love to come and help athletes find that identity and find who they are away from what are they good at outside of football? Because as a football player, they know everything that they're good at. They can tell you, I'm good at this, like, and so being able to find that confidence off the field and court, right? It's super valuable. So, helping people know, oh yeah, that gold medal is important, but then, well, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on in the present, right?
Yeah, I think that's a lot. It relates a lot to how business owners feel when they sell their company, right?
Exactly.
They're
Who
there.
am
They're
I?
there all the time, right? And then they sell it. Next day, they're at home and they're like, "So what the heck do I do?
Did anything change? Yeah, like what changed?
I got my gold medal,
Yeah,
but now I'm just sitting here doing nothing, right?
yeah.
Like, what do I do now?" And that often leads them to go and start a new company. The difference is that professional athletes can't like just go get into another sport, like
Yeah,
like,
where can you take those strengths and place them?
yeah.
Like
So like
coaching. That's not it.
I totally see that where it's like, let's go find what you can now do because you've developed the soft skills that are super important, like the discipline, the consistency, all these really difficult things that most people don't develop because they haven't had to go through all the adversity that these professional athletes do and the dedication that it takes. So
true.
yeah, I think
love
that's
that.
great.
No, thank you. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, and it's cool because I feel like athletes, the new age athlete is very different in that sense. Like they understand that, and especially with NIL and different things. But they know, more than anyone now that, man, I got to make sure I leverage every ounce of what's going on with my sport, and in my career right now. Because I mean, even in college, even in high school, because not everyone gets to go to the NFL, not everyone gets to go to the NBA, but now there's still a lot that you can do in college or even high school that allows you to get yourself in a better position for when you do hang it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't last forever.
Doesn't last forever.
So for you, now that you've transitioned away from football and you're into business and you're helping these professional athletes transition as well, what's your next gold medal that you're chasing?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, for me, there's a lot of different, honestly, but I would say the number one thing is I want to help, I mean, I probably already hit this goal, so it needs to change. It was 1,000 athletes from all different levels. But I've already done that. So, it needs to be,
You're like, wait a minute.
I don't know, it needs to be 1 million. It needs to be
My
1
gold
million.
medal,
Yeah,
it's
it needs to be
here.
1 million. Yeah. So I think the next level for me, I need to help 10,000 athletes with their transition, and helping them do the necessary steps, get the vision early. I love that, and I also just love helping athletes. Part of that is getting them set up off the field and in business and in investing. Like they need to learn, they need to have investing experiences. So if I can help, 10,000 athletes have an investing experience early on, then as they make more money, they know what to do.
Mhm.
Just because, like, you want to know what my real gold medal is now that it just hit me as I was talking about it, is I want that stat to go to 0, honestly, which is 78% of NFL players go broke within 3 to 5 years. Like, I want to flip that thing on its head,
78% are more rich than they've ever been within 3 to 5 years. I don't know, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Because
see, that's what we need. That's the gold medal. That's like, oh yeah.
You've heard it here first, folks.
There you go.
That's
There you
Bronson's
go.
gold
There you
medal.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And so you're working with PAC, right, to do that. Is that your business?
So I'm an advisor to the business.
Okay.
I help out with that pro athlete community. I help out with OG1 athletes. There's our NFL agency. I help out with HIG, Harris Investment Group, which is the real estate investment firm. So, being able to provide, PAC is focused on helping athletes transition when they're done, providing the structure, the training, where they get a business certificate after 4 or 5 days of training from LinkedIn, CEOs, executives, and these athletes get to come and use the furthering education funds that they earn through the NFL through playing. And so from there, they get to come and have this incredible week event and connect with some incredible people. It's almost like that initial launch point for them. Like, hey, come. It's free because the NFL pays for it.
Yeah.
And then you get top of the line experiences, training, relationships, connections. And then once you're in the PAC family, now what are you doing? How can we support you? All the connections are opened up that are flowing, through PAC, that are all connected. So, because that's one of the things that athletes struggle with the most is they're used to being on a team where everyone drops their egos.
Yeah.
And everyone just wants everyone to win. Well, in business, it's not always like that. It's
Yeah.
not always like that. So
It's a dog eat dog world.
it's a dog eat dog, and they understand the dog eat dog, but they think, oh, if I join this business or this company, everything is, everyone wants me to win, or different connections, or so it's like helping them understand, like, okay, well, there is a place where you can feel like you're on a team when you're done. There's a place to feel like that unity, the brotherhood, the locker room feel once you're done. because without the locker room feel, the locker room effect, I call it, that's when fear hits, because you feel alone. You feel like, what's next? I don't know. I can't ask for help. And then you start to spiral. So a lot of athletes will go through that experience. And so, um, and then, I mean, then you make financial decisions that aren't the best. And then we get that statistic, right? So for me, yeah, I have a lot of different avenues where I help, um, you know, a lot of athletes out. But I think it's such a unique opportunity right now because of NIL. And I've been training high school athletes and helping them understand investing, business, taxes. Because there's high school athletes getting $1 million deals right now, and so being able to help them understand that. But it's not about just helping them. It's about helping. I love talking to kids in high school that are playing, that are getting these bigger deals, because it's like, okay, hey, we're gonna talk about these things, but I want your mom and dad to be there. I want your brother and sisters to be there. You can invite aunt and uncle, cousins, and I'm gonna talk about this stuff. I've experienced it, first of all, so I'm different than your typical, financial advisor or someone. And I'm not even a financial advisor. I just am providing education of, okay, here's some things that you should look at, and pretty much, you have to strike that match of, you got to learn, like you got to be hungry to learn about this space, because it's here, it's on your doorstep, it's not going away. So you need to get hungry to learn about this. So I try to build that hunger when I'm talking. And then it's like, oh, now if you go up the chain, up to that 78%, oh, when they get bigger money, now they know what to do.
Yeah.
And so that's the opportunity right now. And so I do a lot right here with the high school athletes, college athletes, and then you go up the chain, NFL, and then former NFL, NBA, and so there's just different. You're working on the front end over here, but then there's still people right here that you can help, because these people up here, guess who's looking at these people? These people. So if you can get these people
Yeah.
right, they're looking right here. Whoa, that's awesome. And then if you're teaching these people right, as they're moving, the next athlete's looking. And so you think about athletes that have done a really good job of that. Like you have Kobe. Kobe was incredible in
Shaq.
business. Shaq.
Shaq's insane.
I mean, Steve Young.
Yeah.
Some of these athletes have been incredible business men and women, and it's so good for the next generation to be able to look at that and say, huh, maybe I should do things differently.
Yeah. Because there's people that retire and you have no idea who they are afterwards. You're like, oh yeah, they actually played. Like everyone knows Shaq still, right? Like everybody.
Yeah.
People who don't even know basketball know Shaq, right?
Yeah.
And that's because he's got his hand in so many different things and he stays relevant, and he's great.
Yeah. Owns a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I had an idea. I'm not sure if this would be something good for you to implement whenever you're teaching people. But these kids who are getting these, $1 million deals, or like you're teaching people who are starting to get money, like I'd recommend even saying, talk it out. And I'd recommend pulling the trigger on one of these things. Like, I'm not going to tell you what one to do. Just talk it out, because you need to have that experience, right?
You have to have an investing experience. Yes.
And even if it's like super small, right? You're like, all right, let's get your foot in the door, because like it is the start that stops you, right?
Yes.
I learned that from
Very
doing
true.
like the podcast. Every time they're like, you just got to start.
Yeah, just get it going. You'll learn along the way.
Because I can see myself, like, you come to me and you're like, yes, you're getting all this money, right? You need to start investing. Like, I've been there, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but I'm focused on football,
Yeah.
Or I'm focused on actually getting to the NFL. And so it does kind of go over the head. But if it's like, all right, just, you don't have to do anything huge. Just pull the trigger on one of these things. Like, just try it out, like stocks, or just try this out, or whatever. And then I go, oh yeah, no, I can do one of those things.
You watch it grow.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing. Athletes, we love helping athletes experience that.
Yeah.
So they have to come in at a smaller amount. It's not like they're betting the house, But if they come in and invest, whether it's real estate, whether it's in the stock market, whether it's, they experience going into a Roth IRA, or they experience, just a different venture. Like if they have that experience early on, 'cause that's the weird. I had this experience. Like I was like, oh my goodness, my money grew just because I had it sitting over here. And that's the thing about money, is you just move money. Like money is like, think about it. When you earn money, it's just money moving to you.
Yeah.
And when you invest it, it's just moving over here. When you buy something, it's just money moving.
And it just
moves.
different places it'll grow.
Some places it'll grow. Some places it goes away.
Yeah. For me, it usually goes away.
Yeah,
It's usually
Hey,
moving
you
over
have to learn that. You have to learn that. Everyone's
usually
got to
goes
learn
over
that
to
lesson.
like Chick-fil-A or something like that.
Hey, Chick-fil-A's a good place to put some money. Let it go.
I'm okay with that one. I'm okay with that one. Yeah.
You're exactly right though. You are right on the money, and you saw it immediately because people talk exactly what you said, but until you until you walk, like do it. Now let's see what happens, because now it turns into truth. Like that was a real experience that really happened,
Yep.
and now you can't change it.
And now you're less afraid of doing it. You're
Now
like,
there's zero fear.
yeah,
There's zero fear.
that's probably the biggest part. Like doing the podcast was for me was that just all right, just start, because
Yeah.
I was like, I have no idea how to start a business. Oh, well, you know what I could do is talk to people. You know what I should do? Make a podcast. All right, okay, let's just film this first interview, right? Talk to this one guy. And then just, all right, now just post it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's good.
Who cares? Throw it up there.
Yeah. Like, and what I tell a lot of the time is our like third interview we did with like Senator Mike Kennedy, which was
Cool.
really big for us. Like it was our third interview, and it was a senator guy running for Congress.
Yeah.
Even. And it was great interview. Audio totally messed up, screwed up. I got like nothing. I was trying to perform surgery on it for like hours and hours just to try to get something releasable. Nothing. Like it was so bad. And like I still feel really bad because that was a great interview, great person to have on. But it was like that wasn't that bad. Like now audio gets messed up or whatever, and I'm like, well, now I know how to like not do that again, right? This whole thing that we got set up
thousands.
right now.
You're gonna have thousands of interviews.
Yeah.
It's just this one of thousands. Like,
yeah.
You know?
So yeah, it's great. I think that is something that really helps, is just getting people to start, even if it's like really small.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. What your one liner there was really good. Because like what I learned in business, you have to build it while you fly it. So you're flying the plane, you're building the plane.
Yeah.
And that's what a great entrepreneur does, because if you're flying the plane, then you're directing where it goes, right? But if you're building the plane, you're taking care of all like the kind of the little things, doing this, doing that, and you have to do it while it's in the air.
Yeah.
Like that is an entrepreneur. I got that advice from a few entrepreneurs, and it's always stuck with me, because it's like, no, yeah, like, can I handle the fear of being up in the air, the fear of everything breaking down, the fear of, all these people are on the plane with me, like that I'm leading, and this is what's going on, can I still do it? And but that is what drives the entrepreneur. Like that is what makes you love it,
And I also think it's like you now know the airplane, right? Like I know,
know it.
Like you're just like, and you also can dictate how the airplane feels to you, right? Like,
absolutely.
like if you're just flying the airplane, you're like, this is great, yeah, right? But when you're building it, you're like, I would like us to go just like a little bit faster, or like I want it to get like a little bit more lofty, right? Like, or I want like a little bit more cabin space, right? Like it's just things that you get to like design yourself while you're flying it. And the thing is with that, it's not like a normal plane analogy because they don't build them in the air.
Yeah.
But like you can only really do that when it's flying. Like with a business, you can't do it before. You have to take off, and then you got to start building.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, yeah, it is like very exhilarating, the whole part of it. You're just like, all right, I got no idea what I'm doing, but we're gonna start.
Let's go. Let's figure this out.
Yeah. So you mentioned before that there was a lot of ties between sports and business.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've all heard like a ton of analogies. Are there any analogies that you've heard that you go, nah, that's actually not true, now that you've like been in business?
Oh yeah, I would say, you probably heard this saying before. I think I talked about it at the event. It was, never let them see you sweat. I hear that all the time in sports. It's like, oh yeah, you don't want them. Yeah, you don't want them to see you
working too
stressed
hard,
or worried, or and because of that, you don't do anything about it, right? Well, in business, it's like you are going to be stressed. You are going to be worried about stuff, and it's totally okay, and it has to happen. You are going to ask for help, and it's hard for athletes to understand that, because they, it's such a competitive space. It's very, alpha, and in business, it's like, no, I can go and ask for help. In sports, you can too, but kind of the mantra is like, oh, you're fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like you can just handle it. Like, and inside, it's like that internal communication, right? But I think entrepreneurs and business, the best thing you can do is ask for help and ask for, ask to meet new people, ask really what you need. People don't ask enough. Like, this is what I need, actually. Because in business, people are like, oh, how can I help? I hear that all the time. How can I help? And people don't ever say actually what they need. And so if you can get, if entrepreneurs can get really good at, I am sweating over here. Like, I am nervous about this. Like, how am I going to have that go away? I need to go ask people. I need to ask people. In the business community, anyone that has taken a business to the top or is running a business, they know that exact same feeling. And so you should be able to go and ask, and you'll get the help that you need. Like, so yeah, you don't have to hide that kind of like feeling of, I don't know this. No, don't hide it. You don't know it. So just go ask someone,
Yeah.
Ask for the help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. So this has been great. Before we finish up, we've had a lot of great nuggets from you. Do you have any like really awesome stories that keep coming back to you from the days at BYU or days in the NFL that you'd like to share with anyone?
Man, there's a lot. Oh man, there's a lot of different stories, experiences. Honestly, I think probably one of the best ones that I can think of is I was it's kind of funny because this goes back to like a business. It doesn't get to like its highest and best self as a business, right? By just like the founder, right? There's a whole slew of team members and people, and when the business experiences success, everyone experiences that same success. And so, for example, when I was in the NFL, my first time running out of the tunnel, they announced my name, and I go running out, and my older sister, she's the oldest, she's sitting in the stands, and I go running out, and after the game, I get this video, and it's her just bawling her eyes out, and it's like, wait, why is she bawling her eyes out? It's because she was one of those key team members that saw the work, that saw the sacrifice, that saw the adversity, that was part of that. Hey, I need help with this. I don't know how to do this, or I'm stuck with this. I can't. Hey sis, I need a ride to practice at 6 8. Can you take me? Hey, can you pick me up? Oh, hey, man, I'm hungry. Like, should we go eat something? And she's like, oh yeah, I'll pay for it. I'll take care of you. So she's seen the whole struggle, and that's why businesses are so cool, and creating businesses, because everyone gets to experience that level of success.
Yeah.
And I love that. So running out of the tunnel, it's like, I didn't know she was doing that. But then when I think back, it's like my whole family was probably feeling the same way. Right. And she was the only one there, right, with my wife. And but it's special being able to do that. I remember and experience that, just because not everyone gets to run out of the NFL tunnel back to the gold medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it was earned, right there.
Yeah, right there. You feel that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, Bronson, this was great. I love talking with you.
Thanks.
You're very personable, and you're just a fun guy to be around. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, we'll see ya.
All right, that's the pod.
Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, no, you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines one too many times.